What's going on, everybody? It's James, and today is Monday, and you know what that means. We are going to be taking a look at the Smart Money Tracker here in the Edgefinder. The Edgefinder is our proprietary market scanning software. It does lots of things like checks COT data. It scores our currency pairs on lots of different metrics. It's constantly bringing in data, getting updated every 15 to 30 minutes so that it constantly has the most up-to-date and accurate information possible to help you determine whether you want to buy or sell certain pairs. But today, because it's Monday, and on Mondays we look at the Smart Money Tracker. Smart Money Tracker is our COT data, or institutional trader data. And so if you watched last week's video, we went over some of the changes that we made here in the Smart Money Tracker. So if you've seen one of these videos before and you don't see the boxes anymore, we've made some changes. But we're going to go ahead and get right into it by taking a look at our top buys and sells. Well, we're actually going to go ahead and look at our long and short on all of these different currencies. In our content, you may have noticed that we occasionally use our own proprietary software to research the markets. This market scanner is called the A1 Edgefinder, and it is a tool our team has spent a lot of time designing and updating. The scanner imports data on things like retail positions to see what retail traders are buying or selling. It also imports bank and hedge fund positioning so that we can get an inside look at what the big players are up to. Of course, we pay attention to fundamentals, so we program the tool to grab economic data in real time to help keep us up to date. If you'd like a copy of the tool yourself, we're doing a major subscriber discount when you use code A1YT at checkout. In the description below, you'll find a link to get access to the tool. By purchasing our software, you'll be supporting our research videos here, as well as getting access to an amazing tool. Again, use code A1YT down below. Now, back to the video. We also have indices and commodities listed, like oil, gold, Nasdaq 100, things like that. But I'm going to run down the line before we get down to this bottom section and read off our long and short on all of these different currencies so that we have an idea of what institutional traders are buying and selling. So starting here at the top, we have ZAR at 76.25% long and 23.75% short. Under that, the US dollar at 76.12% long and 23.88% short. US oil, 74.51% long and 25.49% short. Gold, 64.46% long and 35.54% long, or short, excuse me. The Canadian dollar at 59.28% long and 40.72% short. Nasdaq 100, 57.14% long and 42.59% short. And then that looks like it's really, those are our only pairs that are actually favored on the long side. Everything else is getting shorted at the moment, starting with the New Zealand dollar at 46.3% long and 53.7% short, followed up by the euro, 45.93% long and 54.07% short. I'm going to skip platinum and silver because we don't talk about them too often, but the numbers are here if you want to take a look at them regardless. JP225, we have 43.82% long and 56.18% short. Swiss franc, 42.18% long and 57.82% short. US 30, 41.43% long and 58.57% short. Pound, 33.82% long. Sorry, it gets a little hard seeing these numbers sometimes when I'm going back and forth, but I will show you a better way to look at all this information in just a second. 66.18% short. The yen, 32.90% long and 67.1% short. I should also mention that if you just hover over these, it'll tell you you can see US 30 there, Swiss franc there. Okay, moving on. SPX, 32.74% long and 67.26% short. And our last two here, US 10Y, 29.9% long and 70.1% short. And then our top sell is the Aussie dollar at 27.05% long and 72.95% short. Now, we're going to take a look at our totals. So we have our risk on section, oils, metals, and risk off. If you aren't familiar with risk on or risk off, you can click on this and it'll actually bring up just risk on currencies. So that would be the NASDAQ 100, the New Zealand dollar, the euro, the pound, the SPX 500, and the Australian dollar. These are our risk on currencies. So this number here, total open positions, is the amount of open the amount of open non-commercial contracts for each one of these currencies. So all of these added up together, their open non-commercial contracts totals 1,050,091 total open positions. Overall, out of all of those positions, out of the 1,050,000 positions, 439,183 of them are long, giving us an overall 41.82% long on the risk off section. Some people like to trade only risk on or risk off, depending on what the market is doing. So this is useful information because we can see overall these currencies typically tend to trend together, same as these, the risk off section, the US dollar, the Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. These are often known as safe haven currencies. These typically tend to do the same thing. So if one or two of them are long, then that's typically the direction that it's trending. And same here, we can actually see that, you know, it's a little more evident with the risk on section here because the majority of these are short. And this one, the NASDAQ 100, is the only one that is in the long side, and it's only sitting at 57%. So it's not a strong buy, but it is a buy nonetheless. So these typically tend to trend together. Our total open positions, how many of them are long, and our percentage. So quick math, that would be a overall short percentage of 58 point, oh gosh, I'm bad at math, 58.18. Did I do that correctly? I'm not a math guy. I think I did that correctly. 58.18. I'm going to go with that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I'm not going to check myself. Okay, oil. Oil is just oil. Nothing else listed here with oil, so we can actually see that for oil, we have a total of 437,536 total open positions here with oil, with 326,007 of them being long, and that gives us our 74.15% long here, which is the same that we see right here, 74.15% long. Metals, gold, silver, and platinum. I know I skipped over silver and platinum. That's just simply because we don't talk about them too often. We're more concerned with gold. Gold is really the most important one, in my opinion. But we have our total open positions here, 549,356. And that totals up to, the long totals up to 316,839. So that gives us a total of 57.67% long on the metals. And lastly, our risk off section, I'll go ahead and click on this. I'll click on metals too, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So we have our gold, platinum, and silver there. But risk off, again, US dollar, Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. Total open positions, 265,101. For the long side, 119,491 for a total of 45.07% long. And then down here we have our top 5 long and top 5 short, and we can see the US dollar leads them all at 76.12% long, and we've gone over these percentages already. And our top short here, the Aussie dollar, at 72.95% short. Again, we've gone over this, but we also have this here. Changes long and changes short. You'll see that these are a little bit different looking. These are actually the biggest movers in one direction or the other. So we can see that the NASDAQ 100 had the biggest change toward the long side, with 8,051 new long contracts, while the biggest mover on the short side is the yen with 18,147 new short contracts. And so if we look up here, we can actually see, yep, NASDAQ is towards the top and the yen towards the bottom with those changes long and short. Now, this is not the only place that you can find this information. If you wanted to specifically look at a currency pair, so I'll pick one at random, do a major currency pair. How about USD CAD? Here in the USD Cad Breakdown page, we have our sentiment section right here, and we can see COT data. We have the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, and we have those same numbers that we just took a look at here, 76.12% long and 23.88% short for the US dollar, and 59.28% long, 40.72% short for the Canadian dollar. That is the same information there. We can see our score here for COT data is a +1. And the reason it is +1 is because the first currency listed has a higher long percentage than the second currency listed. And we actually have our scanner output summary that kind of breaks that down right here. So if we take a look, here we go. This category receives a +1 as institutional traders favor the US dollar. What that means is I like to refer these as currency 1 and currency 2. The first, this is the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. So we have US dollar 1, Canadian dollar 2. Whichever one is heavily favored on the long side gets the plus or minus. So since currency 1 is favored on the long side, we get plus. If currency 2 was favored on the long side, we get negative. Maybe I'll look and see if I can find a currency pair to show you that negative score. It's not going to be any of these major pairs, most likely, because the US dollar, it's not going to be any of the major pairs because the US dollar is so, well, actually it could be, say, like the Australian dollar, for example, because the US dollar has the highest long percentage out of all of our pairs. If it's going to be currency number 2, like it is here, Aussie against the US, we can see a score of -2 here because the US dollar is so much higher favored on the long side, 60 or 76% compared to 27% for the Australian dollar. And we can actually see a written breakdown of that. We can see that the Australian dollar has a long percentage of 27.05, and we see that the US dollar has a long percentage of 76.12. This category receives a -2 as institutional traders favor the US dollar. So that's how we score that. All right. And so that's a look at COT data, institutional trader data, and how we use it here in the Edgefinder. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.